fact news you can trust.
Hey guys, Mil-Spec Ops Monkey here. I just wanted to come on. It's about 7 p.m. on inauguration night, 1/20/21, and I just wanted to kind of circle the wagons a little bit. I've been watching the post, and the haters are definitely out, and it honestly saddens me because this is not what our country is all about, and the patriots right now are being torn apart. I felt like the information that I was providing was spot on, and because I was giving people an overview of some of the military activity that was taking place up to the point before it actually became a real military operation, okay? And because of that, I went quiet for OPSEC, okay? And anybody else that has ever served this country knows that you don't compromise the OPSEC, okay? And so therefore, I chose not to post, okay? Did this go the way that I thought it was going to go? Definitely not. I'm actually pretty disappointed as well. But I feel like maybe this really isn't over yet, as much as most people want to believe it is. And I'm saying that because there were certain things that stood out to me that still don't add up. Okay, one, Trump just walking away quietly doesn't add up. Doesn't make sense to me. Okay. The other thing too is today, I watched Trump depart from D.C. headed down to Mar-a-Lago, okay? And I watched him land, and then I watched Air Force One stay there. Now, I will tell you that even when he was flying down there, he should have still been call sign Air Force One because he was still president at that time. But let's back that up for a second, okay? Both he and Pence have not flown under the call signs Air Force One or Two for probably the last 10 days. All right. And so, and I don't know why that is, other than maybe they weren't acting chief. Maybe something else took place. Okay. It doesn't add up to me. And that is a pretty valid data point because anytime POTUS is on something, he would come down. That should have been Air Force One all the way down. And today, you know what it said? NA. Okay. And all the flights that were his normal go-to said NA. All right. In terms of aircraft. And Pence's aircraft, I haven't seen it say Air Force Two. I've seen it say SAM or SPAR, which are the call outs for VIP aircraft flights, right? That's the same call out that Pompeo would have, okay? So, that said, here's what I want to do. I just want to show you quickly a couple things. I left the house today for a little while because I just couldn't stand the sight of Biden going through all of it. Even if I thought that it was all going to go down, I didn't have the stomach to watch it, okay? And the interesting thing is, after POTUS landed on flight call sign NA on his 747 down in Mar-a-Lago, the plane sat on the ground, and then aircraft call sign 090017 came zinging down from Washington, D.C. It did a hoop, like a little hook turn over Miami, and then basically kicked back and started heading north again. And so I thought for a minute, well, maybe this is it, right? Things are about to go down. This plane's going to land. He's going to get on and he's going to go somewhere. The plane never landed. It just flew over at 30,000 feet, right? And I'm going to advance the video before I go show you where we are now, okay? But you're going to see this plane just cruises on back up, all right? And this is it right here, okay? And it's headed back north, right? So why did it come all the way down as an NA flight, right, and turn back around and go up? It didn't have to say NA. It could have had the actual tail number, 090017 or SPAR 291 or something, right? It had nobody on it, I guess, but the NA made zero sense to me because that is, if you guys know anything about this 757, but that is an alternate to Air Force One. Made no sense, okay? Zing down, zing back up, okay? Now, aircraft traffic today was high, all right? And I think at one point it was probably 400 up, which is normally 250. It wasn't the 1500 we've seen before, okay? But if we watch this is over the course of an hour. You know, this plane went all the way back up into DC, all right? Now, what was interesting is that this Reach aircraft right here came down, and that is actually one of the Reaches that had the T on the end. And now I've told you guys that the T on the back side of that I've found was related to Trump. At least I thought it was. And it typically had Marine One or, you know, one of the presidential cars or something in it. There was usually transport of equipment, okay? So that one came down and actually landed at Mar-a-Lago, okay? And so now let's go, let me zing on through. You guys can just see the activity, and it is pretty crazy, okay? Now this is Air Force One punching out. That's the 747, again, NA, all right? 82-8000, right? So that's Air Force One, and that was headed back up to DC, all right? So when that one took off, I thought, well, all right, that lady has sung. The other bird came down, went back, straight back up. Why it did that, I have no idea. It makes no sense to me. Why have that take, you know, a flight down south of Florida, you know, by Miami and then head back up? It didn't make any sense, okay? All right, so there's that part of it, okay? Now, if we look at, here's what's up right now. And we've got 203 aircraft up. I don't have the P on, all right? So it's not persistence mode, so it's not gonna pull out anything extra, okay? We still have fighters over here. We've got a temporary flight restriction, which is a red one, all right? So now that's gonna be permanent. I know it's an oxymoron, it's okay. But that's still over, that's over Mar-a-Lago, all right? We still have all of these C-130s in play. This is never, I'm telling you guys, I've been watching Florida for a long time, and I can tell you that these C-130s are just not, you don't see them over there a lot, okay? This is an H-60 flying around Tampa. This is another C-130 that's rolling out. It looks like Patrick Air Force Base and back. But it's just like a sea of transports, but they're not, these aren't moving troops. It looks like they're just flying around, okay? We've got some fighters still up, all right? Coming out of Jacksonville, there's probably an F-18. Got another fighter right here coming just hot out of Jacksonville. All right, now let's go up here to DC. Now, I want to show you something as well. Let's take a look at I'm going to go to filter. We're going to just look at H-60s, and we're going to hit filter, all right? Now, I want you to just take a look at, these are, let me get that out of the way. Sorry about that. These are the H-60s that are currently up. So we got 31 H-60s up, flying around, all right? This is usually, well, this right here would be your training area, kind of up in this area. So these are probably not training related. These are Baton Rouge related, right? But there is a lot of H-60 activity going on right now, okay? That's still pretty high given what happened today. Now, you guys remember, if you watched closely, you saw today there was somebody that was in the motorcade media that was filming as the motorcade went by the troops. And if you noticed, when it went by the troops, all the troops turned their back on Biden. I have never in my life seen troops turn their back on their commander-in-chief like that. Like, that just is shocking to me. I mean, that just goes to show you where we are, where the troops are, okay? Now, what we want to watch for as this stuff unfolds, okay? I don't think it's over yet. I really don't. People, believe what you want to believe, but there's something to all of this, because it doesn't, when you sit there and watch things over and over and over, they don't make sense, they don't add up. There's something to that. We're not just imagining things, okay? Dayton, Ohio, right? So you would expect if that was coming, that would be coming out of DC, not out of Dayton, Ohio, okay? So is it moving THAADs or MEADs or, you know, missile system stuff? No, but I doubt it's moving troops, okay? These tankers up mean you have a sea of fighters still up and flying around, and you can still see there's some fighters right here. There's one, looks like it's about to land. Airspeed is down 125 knots, 850 feet, so yeah, it's probably landing, but let's see where this C-130 is coming out of. It looks like it's up in Burlington, and it's just basically circling down and back up. It didn't drop altitude, didn't stop anywhere, I mean, it's still sitting at, 25,000 feet, I guess. So, or 21,900. Looks like it's landing back here, okay? I don't see a bunch of exfil coming out of Washington, D.C., which is what I would expect to see right now. I would see troops getting round up, coming out, and going back to their home bases, all right? And so there's no RTB going on, right? So this is Fort Drum. This is the 10th Mountain Division, right? These guys, they're just flying around the base. Just doing, it's the craziest thing. You'd think, all right, their troops are coming home, right? So people will be flying out and back. Look at this one, flying around the base. Out here, it's just basically hopping back and forth. Same here, this one here, taking off, heading north. So I would expect 65,000 troops. They're not putting them on buses. These guys are going to be all on aircraft, and you should see a sea of them departing DC, and I don't see any of them leaving, okay? So what does that tell you? I don't think this is over. I don't want to be one to give false hope, but I just don't think this is over, right? Okay, so it looks like we got a whole bunch of activity going on down here at the Texas border. A lot of H-60s up right now, which, if Biden was in charge, it doesn't seem like that would be going on. I'm just saying, okay? Same thing over here. This was another area that was actually had one of the no-fly temporary flight restrictions in play, okay? And so it looks like we've got aircraft. I'm trying to see if that's Yuma. My eyesight is not working with me today for some reason, but that's some aircraft. Looks like maybe in the Yuma area coming down here, working border. All right, take a closer look at San Diego area. We've got H-47, like that's working border work. Fighter coming out of that's and like Miramar, and then we have a V-22. Looks like it's doing some work here along the coast of California up here. To what is that? Santa Barbara, down south. Okay. All right, let's look over at Hawaii real fast. And see here, it's got some H-60 flying around here. Looks like they're coming out of the Big Island, headed over to Oahu. D-350s and 737 looks like it's heading outbound, probably heading across the drink here. And of course, this one. So, all right, so there's that. And pull up Flight Aware. I want to take a look. And all right. Now this one is kind of a weird one for me. And the reason I want to show it is because that thing flew west from Vegas out to the DC area. What I thought was to do the inauguration stuff, okay? But that thing landed on the 13th. It did a 1 hour and 22-minute flight, did some air quality samples, all right? This is a sniffer, and it hasn't flown since. That was the 13th. Today's the 20th, okay? Just seems really strange to me, all right? Now, let's go look at 312FU. And that one landed 2 days ago, West Palm, staying, actually, West Palm Beach, that's where POTUS was, to Lauderdale, all right? So just a quick hop. And that took place 2 days ago, right? And go back up here, and we're gonna look at 331CK. I just want to see if our sniffer bird is still doing the same. All right. Now this one is headed from Oscoda, Michigan, which that is its ground-based operation. That's where its maintenance and its headquarters is located. Back down to Florida. So, So the 17th, it went from on the 17th, so 3 days ago, it went up to Miami. So it's probably a quick maintenance check, I would imagine. Probably a B check. Could have been a light C, but probably a B check, which is, you know, basically just goes because all the cycles that thing's been doing back and forth to the islands. Looks like it's headed back down to Miami. So, but it stopped on the 17th, picking back up on the 20th. And last but not least, we'll take a look at let's just look at one of the gray birds, which is, so 5 days ago down to Brownsville, Texas. And let me see what else we got. Phoenix Air, all flights, anything up. Like anything. So yeah, they're not anything airborne right now on those. So, all right. Back to this. We're going to go look over the Europe area. Now, that is a drone, a Q4 drone, and that appears to be doing some work out south of Italy. And so there's something happening over there that they got eyes on. Let's see, got a C-130 rolling out. That is an Italian C-130 headed westbound. Like we've got another Canadian C-130 just came across the drink, headed over. See, looks like it's not stopping, so it's over London right now, and it looks like it's headed into probably into the Netherlands or Germany or France. I don't know. It just depends once it gets over that part, but pretty quiet actually. Not seeing anything over Europe. So, okay. So, all right, that's all I got, folks. It's 7:24, so Central Time here in Texas. So let's see what the next day holds. All right, that's it. God bless. Monkey out.